And that brings us to lung 7. So the official thing is they make an effort to tell you how to find it, which is at the cross of the index finger. And again, once we realize it depends what we're trying to do, then the location stops being such a big deal. But officially, you're supposed to hold your hand, and where the index finger hits is where the point is. So did you guys learn that, right? Okay. So everyone does this, and then people say it's on the yang side, it's on the yin side, it's all of these things. Tomato, tomato, pecan, pecan. What are we trying to do? And that's what defines what we're doing. One-sided headaches, not necessarily a full-blown migraine. Usually it's the pinched nerve to the sac causing muscle tension headache that's on one side, and so the eye has that kind of tearing or pain, or the migraine is there, and they're like, oh. Then liechia is very good. What's important about if we're needling it for that is if they're lying on the table and their arm is all bent and I'm needling it, it's not going to be so effective because the channel's not going to lengthen and blood flow's not going to return. So at that point, it's the traction of the arm as I lengthen out the channel. The lengthening of the channel is going to pull on the muscle knot. I don't want to yank, but I need to connect to this muscle tension. And then as I needle, I need to see that muscle tension start to relax and move. I will, of course, then massage the neck head a little bit, get some more life. But if I think I'm going to be able to fix it and they're lying on the table and I'm doing this and everything is bent, I mean, it'd have to be pretty overwhelming. I'd have to get it so they're like, ah, 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 and then even then maybe not. So it's the traction that's key to the success, in my opinion, of treating usually muscle tension headaches. If they're in that acute phase of headache, then I'm going to lengthen and I'm going to disperse the channel. I'm going to needle pull, needle pull, needle pull. If they're in the chronic phase, not so severe, then I need to get more flow up to the head. And so I'm going to have more of that, try and flow channel travel, make qi wash up, come down, wash up, come down, wash up, come down. Now, of course, I'm going to massage and treat up here as well. Right? The Madang points doesn't mean I only treat the Madang points, but that's what's going on here. And the point of the Madang points is to realize that how you needle these is how you would needle somewhere else. And so if I do traction to lengthen a channel before I needle here, it doesn't mean, oh, that's what I do at lung 7. That's what I do in many places. The lesson I learned it at lung 7, I apply that understanding to many places in the body. And so if we can just remember, that's what the gift of these points are. Learn these skills, apply them everywhere. It's not just the skill for this point. Wind be numbness throughout the body. Tonify the point with perpendicular needling to expand the qi. Now, this is an interesting point because I needle this, and I would have always told you up until recently that as needling this, what I'm looking for is I'm doing perpendicular needling, and so I'm on the yin side of that line. I'm looking for the tender part of the bone now, just as I was on heart 5, just as I was on liver 5. I'm on that tender part of the bone, and I'm doing my motion, and I want to see almost like a ah, and then I want to see a and I want to expand their breathing so that the wind bee gets distributed. And that's how I've done it and believed it to be. Then I had a fascinating experience demonstrating this point in London. And so I'm demonstrating it, and everybody wants to know about the location. So when I channel travel to do it, I'm along the outside of the bone, almost on the yang side of it. When I'm going for the point, I roll into the tender part of the inside of the bone. And that's how I locate the two. And I'm going on about this, and I say, so here's the channel, and now I'm going to do point location, point needling. And I brought the needle in, and I go in, and fortunately, well, it wouldn't have mattered because it was a great thing, but it was one of the hosts of the seminar who was on the table. And I go in, and I talk about reciprocal, reverse reciprocal, and I talk about how important it is to be focused. But I'm teaching, I'm talking. You guys have seen how many times I get distracted while talking and needling, and all of a sudden the sensation spikes up. So I'm going, and I'm talking, and then all of a sudden I hit. And dang, if I don't feel literally like someone has just gone vroom with a pump, and I'm going whoop, and my feet come off the ground, my hand lifts, and I'm going like, wah! And the person at the table is like, whoa! Like that, not pain. And the two of us inflated. I have no other way to describe this. I mean, there are things that happen that are currently unexplainable by me, and there it was. I hit it, and he just went whoop, and I went whoop, and we looked at each other. There was a moment where our eyes locked, and we're like, is this okay or not okay? What's happening here? And he's just like, whoa, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, and I was unprepared for it. And so, I mean, could I stop it? Of course I could stop it, but dang, I'm not stopping that. I mean, I've been kneeling for how long? If that happens, I'm going to ride it. I'm going to be like, where's this going? How strong is this going to get? Where's it going to go? And the two of us are just like looking at each other like, what is happening? We both had no idea, but he's just going like this, and I'm going, and he goes, now that's lung 7.